Welcome everybody, this is SharePoint Patterns and Practices customer story. So this time in this webcast or video, we're going to have a look on this real life customer case based on the PnP partner pack. So something which is available from the SharePoint Patterns and Practices for partners and customers to use either as an inspiration or as a starting point for their customer based solutions. With me today is, well, first of all, my name is Esa Juvonen. I'm a senior program manager from Microsoft and SharePoint Engineering, and with me today are the two guys who are responsible of the implementation. Well, there was other people as well, but they're representing the actual implementation team from the experts inside. So Nikki and Kevin. And will you, Nikki, do the intros first?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Vesa. My name is Nikki Burrell. I'm just managing consultant at Experts Insight. I'm MVP for Office Server and Services, and worked around with the PnP stuff for 1 year actually now. And yeah, we use it at the customer side. And on the other side, there is my colleague Kevin. So Kevin, some words from you.
Yeah, hi guys, my name is Kevin and I'm a full stack developer at Experts Insight, and I did all the PnP implementation and the customization, and we'll talk about that later.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Nikki. So before we actually go to the actual content, let's do a quick intro on the PnP, because there's always people who are not necessarily familiar of the SharePoint PnP. So the SharePoint Patterns and Practices is here to help field, as in the customers and partners, to learn the right ways of doing customizations for SharePoint Online and also for SharePoint on-premises. We provide code samples, guidance documentations, we have community calls, case studies, and all of that. And the themes are obviously on the new stuff, which is the SharePoint framework, but also on the in-production stuff, which is SharePoint adding model. And the PnP partner pack, and in this case, this customer story is really around the adding model implementation, because the SharePoint framework is still in a developer preview when this video has been recorded. But let's actually move into the actual content, because I think that's the main topic of today. So I'll let Nikki to start driving the presentation, and I'll jump in if there's any questions or points which we want to raise, and then we move into the Kevin on a later part of the presentation. But Nikki, take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Vesa. So we have two main parts in this webcast. The first part is what I'm just doing is talking a lot about what are the customer requirements and what is the solution we built on top of PnP Partner Pack. And in the second part, Kevin will just talk about the customizations and the code we used. Okay. So let's talk about the customer requirements. So customer requirements are definitely really typical for Office 365 or SharePoint projects. But first of all, let's talk about the customer. The customer is the Weleda AG. It is one of the world-leading companies for natural cosmetic, and is founded and located in Switzerland, and got subsidiaries all over the world. If you're interested in deeper information, what Weleda is doing with the Microsoft technology, there's the link to a customer success story on the Microsoft website. Okay, so but now let's talk about what we did in the context of the PnP Partner Pack. From customer requirements, as I said, are definitely typical. They want to create team sites based on their own templates. They want to use their own composed look within their team sites. They have some requirements about lifecycle management, deletion of unused sites. Definitely, because of we are working with SharePoint Online and Office 365, mobile use and also the use on tablets or phones is definitely one of the big points we have to solve. So these first part you see in this list is stuff that the PnP Partner Pack can cover out of the box. On the other side, we get just the need to create our own stuff because of the customers just using Yammer really frequently. They started their journey in Office 365 with the Yammer Enterprise Network, and so for every team site the user is creating, he gets a chance to say, can I get also a Yammer group for this team site? And when the team site is ready provisioned, he wants to see a Yammer thread as a part of his landing page of the team site. So this first points are definitely standard PnP technology, but this one is custom stuff we had to do and we had to develop, and this is what Kevin is talking about in a couple of minutes. Before we go to the demo, let me just talk a little bit about the architecture of PnP Partner Pack. So you can here see the link on GitHub where all this, what I explain now and what I show you in the demo, is just written down in a how-to script, and you can get the sources to deploy it on your own Office 365 and Azure. So first of all, when we talk about the cloud version, we have Office 365 and we have an Azure subscription. And in the Azure subscription, you have create some services, some stuff. So you need Azure Active Directory, which is out of the box when you use it with your Office 365. But you have to create also a storage account, and we have to set up some web jobs. On the Office 365 part, you need a so-called infrastructure site collection, which is for managing the PnP stuff. So, for example, the templates, the site collection templates are located in this team site, and also the provisioning jobs created by the users are just located there. And when you set up the partner pack following the step-by-step introduction you can find on this GitHub site, then you create an app in the Azure Active Directory, which is then integrated in your app launcher. And if the user is clicking on this app, in the background, he is redirected to an Azure website. So you can see it in a demo in a couple of minutes. It looks really, really familiar to your Office 365. So for a normal user, he didn't recognize that he is leaving the Office 365 and is now in Azure. And then you go to the dialog, and if you click Submit, in the background, there are jobs created, and the team site is created and provisioned based on these Azure jobs in your Office 365. So this is how it works from a high-level overview architecture perspective. And for now, I just switch in to the demo and show you what I talked about in a customer implementation. Okay, let's switch to this. As you can see here, I'm in the Office 365 environment on Weleda, and what I want to show you is, first of all, we got here in the app launcher our provisioning app, and when I just click to this app, I come to this page. And for every one of you who knows the PnP Partner Pack, when you deploy it from a default configuration, you see that we localized this page. We got our own intro text. We got our own logo, so we can fully customize this. On the next step, you will see this in a more detailed version. So what we definitely customize a lot is just the dialog for creating a new team site. It is in German. We use our own logo. Actually, in this environment, only one team site template is available. We can choose it, and when we go now to the next button, you see that we just customized this definitely a lot. On this point, you can see the option for the users creating the team site to say, I want also a Yammer group, yes or no, with this checkbox, and that's it. No more stuff is what a user had to fill out here. So we got also an automatism that when I fill in here this title, that is automatically taken as the URL. Absolutely customizing what we get in a standard version. We get rid of all the additional informations, which is more confusing for the end user.
Yeah, just kind of elaborating on that one, what Nicky is saying. The out-of-the-box PnP Partner Pack has a lot of additional options as well. You can actually define if the site is responsive, it's going to be provisioned or not, and a few additional settings. Will it have external sharing enabled and all of that? And in this case, for this particular customer has decided that we don't want to actually expose those settings. We want them to be by default in certain ways. So as an example, all of these team sites will have a responsive experience so that it scales between the different devices accessing the team site. So all of those settings has been kind of hidden from this page or modified not to be on the page, so that the end user experience is pretty slick and simple.
Yes. So I show you the outcome of these team-side provisioning in a couple of minutes, and then you can see that the partner responsive UI pack is automatically also deployed. But first of all, let's have a quick look at the Azure environment. So as you can see here, we're in the Azure Active Directory. And in this Azure Active Directory, we have these application, the Weleda provisioning app, we call it, just registered. And this is why we got these entry in the app launcher. And on the other side, we had to create some web jobs. But this is all part of the PnP partner pack, and it's definitely documented step by step how to set up this environments, how to create certificates, and handle all this. So by the way, PnP partner pack remote provisioning is not running in a user context. It's just running in an app context. So you do not need a special technical user account or something like this in the background. Okay, so here in this case, we got a scheduled timer job, which is running every 5 minutes, looking in the infrastructure side collection to see if there are new provisioning jobs, and then creating the websites. And the outcome I can show you here. It's just looking like this. So it is really clear. It's really simple. It is the first version of team sites the customer is working with. But what you can see is we are deploying the customer fonts and also the customer design package. We just modify or create our own team site. Kevin is showing you the Yammer implementation in his stack. And what I want to show you is that we also deploy the responsive package. So just dealing with this. And as you can see, if I just smaller this down, we got in this point where it's collapsing, and all the web parts are just in one row, and the navigation is collapsing. And this is definitely deployed by default with the solution we created based on the PnP partner pack for the customer. Okay, so now let's switch back to the slides. Yeah, so far from my side, from my demo. Okay, Kevin, can you take over?
Okay, let me talk about the extensions that we did to the PnP partner pack. And I just want to talk about the Yammer extension that we did for the customer. And I want to give you an overview what we needed to do to make that happen. And first, we implemented the iProvisioning and the extensibility handler interface, which is like the standard way to add custom code to your provisioning or to your team-side provisioning. And the second part was a Yammer web part inside the team-side template, which displays the embed feed. And the third part is a schedule job that updates the team side and keeps the team side with the Yammer groups in sync. So the extensibility handler is actually quite simple. What it does is it stores the Yammer group name and the Yammer group administrator as a template parameter. And then during provisioning, it tries to create the Yammer group on behalf of that administrator. And if it already exists, it just retrieves the group ID instead. And in the end, it stores the group ID in the property bag of the team side, so that the web part can actually work with the group ID.
On this one, actually, Kevin, just kind of a pinpoint, just making sure that there's additional context on the extensibility handler, so clarifying that implementation. So the extensibility handler is something which you can hook in to the PnP provisioning template. Because of the Yammer integration is not natively implemented in the PnP provisioning engine, and we're not actually planning to do that, at least for now. In this case, customer has wanted to have this kind of a custom operation to be executed as part of the template provisioning, and that's why Kevin has implemented this Yammer thing, which is hooked into the template, just to clarify that. That's a really great scenario, actually, to get implemented as an extensibility handler, no doubt.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So let's talk about the web part. The Yammer web part is actually just a simple script editor web part on the template, which is hidden by default. And inside that web part, I use JSON to fetch the group ID back from the property bag of the team side. And when the group ID is actually set, because it's optional, I render the embed feed inside the web part and make it visible. So it's hidden by default because it's optional, but when I find the group ID, I just make it visible. And embed the Yammer feed inside it. So this is actually quite simple. Do you have any questions about that?
Well, I would say quickly that even though you're saying that it's a simple, but it's super powerful, and typically the simple solutions are always the most or the best ones as well.
Yeah.
And this is well, the JavaScript Yammer embed capability is something which, well, it's quite easily adaptable, but I think it's a clever way of extending that by having the property back query against the property back in a site, and then selecting the group ID. So yeah. Great implementation, no doubt.
Yeah, also the good thing about storing it in the property pack is that you can actually add a group ID after provisioning the team site. So at a later stage, if they need one, you can just add it to the property pack and it's there.
True.
So that's also quite nice.
That's a good point. Yeah. And if you need to, for some reason, let's say consolidate Yammer groups at some point, you can do that as well. Just pinpointing all of the sites in the same group. There's multiple kind of, let's say that there's always the Yammer people are saying that maybe you shouldn't be creating one group for every single team site. Maybe you should share the same group for multiple sites, and it's debatable. I don't think we're the right people to make that decision, but you have that flexibility with this technical implementation anyway. So good way of implementing that.
Cool. So, and the last part is scheduled job that is implemented as a PnP timer job. And what it does is for each team site that has a Yammer group, it reads all users from the Yammer group and from the associated groups in the team site, and it just keeps the users in sync. So if people get added to the team site, they also get added to the Yammer group whenever the job runs. And currently this is a 15-minute schedule, and it just adds and removes users from the Yammer group depending on how they are on the team site.
And on this one, just to again slightly elaborate on that one, the PnP timer job is referring to the PnP timer job framework. So we do have in the PnP core component, we have this framework which is giving you, for example, multi-threading support and easy access to all of the sites within your tenant.
That's right.
And it's a great framework to get advantage or take advantage. And then in this case, Kevin has been able to concentrate on the business logic rather than concentrating on how do I get access on the sites. So all of that is taken care of. And the follow-up thing, obviously, is that the team sites and Yammer group, they don't have a native sync between the members. And that's why there's this automated sync between them, at least for now. Sooner or later, there might be some new capabilities in the future, who knows? And we're not going to disclose anything like that within this webcast anyway. But for now, at least when the video is recorded, there's no, let's say, one-to-one between a Yammer group and a team site. And that's why the synchronization process is there. The job is running in 15 minutes. Just out of curiosity, well, obviously the PnP timer job framework gives multi-threading, but is every single 15 minutes too often, or is it? It depends obviously on the amount of sites which are there.
No, just 50 minutes is just fine. It doesn't take that long. I think the job runs for 2 minutes or something.
Okay, that's good.
But we just don't need more.
Yeah, and the PnP
faster schedule.
Yeah, and the schedule job is once again using the app-only access on the Yammer and then on the team site, and then doing the modifications between. So clean, super clean, and nice implementation, no doubt, and good way of taking care of this particular piece as well.
Yeah, and so last thing I want to show you is the actual Yammer report on the team site. So this is another team site that I just created with the Yammer extension enabled. And as you can see on the right side, there's this Yammer report. And it's just working how you expect it to work, right? So I can just say, can just post inside my Yammer group, and it's working. Actually, I don't see my mouse, so I can't click. But it's working. Trust me on that.
Yes. It's the typical Yammer embed capability, but it's really nicely embedded on the site. So really nice implementation. And this way, the thread can be accessed either from Yammer or from the SharePoint site. So either way, the user prefers. Nice implementation, no doubt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's it from my side.
Cool. Thanks, Kevin. So let's actually do a quick summary on what did we see here. So what Nikki and Kevin has essentially done is that they followed up on or they've taken advantage of the PnP Partner Pack, which is available for any customer and any partner to take innovation, take inspiration, and build their own solution on top of it. The PnP Partner Pack is an open source, community-driven initiative or project in a GitHub, and you're more than willing to also contribute back. So if you find any issues, we absolutely would welcome that feedback in the PnP Partner Pack as well. But really the key point of the PnP Partner Pack is to make sure that there's a starting point for the customers and partners to start building their customizations on top of existing validated solution, where we have tens and tens of contributors making sure that the quality is on the right stage. From a SharePoint engineering perspective, actually the fact that people are using this PnP provisioning engine is also brilliant, because we will come up with a native SharePoint remote provisioning engine sooner or later, and at that point we are considering to have let's say a conversion or migration tooling also for the customers who've been using PnP Partner Pack and the PnP provisioning engine. So the PnP provisioning engine is really kind of an inspiration for SharePoint engineering as well, even though that sounds weird, but that's currently the realities of life. So in the SharePoint side, the native SharePoint side provisioning has been slightly lagging behind on the best possible capabilities, and engineering is now heavily investing on that. But today, like mentioned, we saw the PnP Partner Pack taken and then modified based on the business requirements of the customers, like adding removing some of the configuration options from the UIs, adding the customer branding to it, and then also including the Yammer integration on it, and a really nice, clean implementation for this particular customer. Anything, Kevin or Nikki, what I missed from a summary perspective?
No, you got it.
Yes, yes, you covered it pretty well. Yeah.
Let me say, if we go to the customer in the project and say, maybe for your needs, we can use the PnP Partner Pack, so everyone is just looking with big eyes and say, what is a PnP Partner Pack? So we have to introduce what we're doing here and what are the ideas, but when they understand the power of the solutions, they're absolutely fine and just really interesting in just implement it and use it. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. But okay, I think that wraps up the webcast and the recording. So thank you, Nikki and Kevin, for this one. And really great to have a real life customer case recorded, and which is kind of a validating the PnP Partner Pack usage. Just a kind of a small, let's say, additional details on that one. We do know that within the last 3 months, there have been 600 production tenants where the PnP provisioning engine has been executed. So Nikki and Kevin are not the only persons who are using the PnP Partner Pack. There's a lot of other customers using that as well. So it's a relatively safe solution to be used by other customers as well. But I think that wraps up the webcast. So thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Kevin, for joining. And
you're welcome.
Great to see this one in practice, and great to hear that customer is happy with the solution as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.